CBS Sports presents the Prudential College Football Report. Sponsored by the Prudential, offering a full range of insurance and other financial services. The Prudential, the Rock. It's strong, it's on the move, it's bigger than life.
Jim Nantz in New York, the Prudential College Football Report. Let me show you a remarkable play in the first half by Vinny Testaverde, the quarterback, the Heisman hopeful of the Miami Hurricanes. He doesn't go down easy. In fact, he breaks several tackles here. And Testaverde turns a 10-yard loss at least into a 10-yard gain. Significant thing here, it kept the drive alive, and the Canes went on and scored the lone touchdown of this game after that scramble, and they lead at 7-3 here at the intermission. All right, let's move on to the top 10, where Alabama has 4 straight wins, but today the tide is idle. Number 4, Nebraska leading over Oregon in the fourth quarter. A big day for Steve Taylor, the quarterback here. It looks like he's going to go into the end zone, but he forgets the football. But right there is Keith Jones to pick it up, and the Huskers lead it by 41 in the fourth quarter. Michigan took advantage of 4 Florida State turnovers to beat the Seminoles 20-18. This was the touchdown that iced it. Thomas Wilshire going in from the 7, and the Wolverines and Bo Schembechler now have 3 close wins.
We haven't lost yet. So as long as we haven't lost, we'll probably stay in the top 10, drop gradually, and maybe we can make a rush at the end. How's that?
For Schembechler, that's victory number 199 on his career. Tonight, a key Pac-10 game at the Coliseum, Washington and USC. This afternoon, Penn State ran their record to 3-0. And East Carolina suffered their 13th straight loss. Auburn leading in the third quarter over Tennessee, 10-0. Tonight, number 9, Arkansas will go against New Mexico State. And number 10, Arizona, had to struggle today, but they beat Colorado in the final 5 minutes. Here they are trailing. The Wildcats quarterback Jenkins goes to Jeff Fairholm, who outraces the Buffalo defender. 67 yards he goes in the final 5 minutes. And Arizona now 3-0 with that victory over Colorado. Now, in the East, West Virginia and Pittsburgh, John Kangemi, 3 touchdown passes. He ran for another. Panthers' second straight win. Rutgers handed Syracuse their 4th loss in 4 outings. The Orangemen may want to borrow a page from the Ewings and that Dallas script and just write this whole season off as a bad dream. Now, elsewhere, Army's home winning streak came to a close. They had won 13 in a row at home before today. Navy got 4 touchdowns from Chuck Smith as they shut out Lehigh. Princeton and Northwestern. Northwestern notches their 2nd straight victory. Bucknell lost to Penn by a field goal. And Cornell and Colgate. Cornell a winner there. Colgate coach Fred Dunlap this week underwent a double bypass operation. Offensive coordinator Mike Foley took over as coach today, but Colgate on the short end of the score against Cornell. Still ahead of us here at halftime, the special story of Marc Buoniconti and the battle against paralysis. And, of course, more scores and highlights as the Prudential College Football Report continues here on CBS with more results from the East. Jim Nantz in New York. A week ago, Clemson marched into Georgia and beat the Bulldogs. Today, they topped Georgia Tech. In fact, the Yellow Jacks had a very quiet 8-game unbeaten string stopped today. Also, Mississippi over Tulane. At halftime, Archie Manning's number 18 was retired, and the Rebels win it today over Tulane. Moving now to the Midwest, looks like Notre Dame will pick up their first win. They lead at halftime over Purdue by 24. Iowa big over UTEP. That is now a final just in. Next week, the Hawkeyes will go against Michigan State in the Big Ten opener. Some of you will see that here on CBS Sports. Speaking of the Spartans, they also won handily today. Lorenzo White, 26 carries, 192 yards, and 3 touchdowns for that Heisman candidate. Ohio State bounced back big with their biggest performance of the year, 64-6 over Utah. Fullback George Cooper had 4 touchdowns in that game. Indiana will stay unbeaten, it looks like. They're beating Missouri in the fourth quarter by 17. And Wyoming, for the first time ever, beats a team from the Big Ten. They were an 0-7 before today, and now the Cowboys run their record to 3-1 on the year. Kentucky silenced Cincinnati today. The Wildcats now 2-0-1. Kansas perhaps picking up their 2nd straight win, a 2-touchdown lead over Indiana State in the 4th. Iowa State and Wichita State, 29-point lead for the Cyclones in that ball game. Miami of Ohio last week sprung the surprise on LSU down in Baton Rouge. Today they win at home against Bowling Green. In the Southwest, Baylor's Grant Taft became the all-time winningest coach for the Bears, passing Morley Jennings as they won in that Southwest Conference showdown. TCU and SMU, that is now much closer than it was before. 2 straight touchdowns for TCU to make it 24-21. Doak Walker's jersey number 37 retired at halftime for SMU. You got to wonder why it took so long. I mean, he won the Heisman 38 years ago, and today they finally retire his jersey there for the Mustangs. BYU, another final just in, a 10-point winner over Temple. The Cougars were trailing 17-14, but here's Steve Lindsley, the quarterback, out of the pocket. He scrambles and he finds Marc Buoniconti, who jumps up, gets the 15-yard touchdown, and BYU wins it 27-17. Now also out on the WAC, Air Force comes back after the loss a week ago to Wyoming, and they beat Colorado State today. And the Pac-10, Stanford looking to go 3-0 for the first time since 1972. They have a 3-point lead in the second quarter. California 1 point up on San Jose State in the second. And in baseball, Boston reduced their magic number to just 1 as they shut out Toronto today 2-0. And when we come back, we'll have a special profile in Courage, the dramatic and touching story of Marc Buoniconti. You're watching the Prudential College Football Report here on CBS, where the scores continue from around the country. It has been said that the true measure of a man's character is revealed only under adversity. What you are about to see is the remarkable story of a young athlete faced with the ultimate adversity. He is Marc Buoniconti, the son of former NFL All-Pro Nick Buoniconti. A year ago at this time, he was playing for the Citadel, following in his father's footsteps at middle linebacker. Then, all of a sudden, he saw his life flash before his eyes.
When you ever see him in movies, you think, well, they break your neck, you know you're going to die. I thought of dying. I thought I was going to die, maybe.
He was so full of life, so vital, even aggressive. The play, it seemed routine, but he never got up.
I rolled over, and I noticed my arm was just lying there. Actually, I saw it fall. And if it wasn't connected to my shoulder, I wouldn't have known it was my arm.
It was very difficult for me to walk into that room and look at my son in the condition that he was in and not feel that that a great part of his life was drained from him.
I saw what he looked like, you know, in that position with his head shaved and things coming out of his head to keep his neck stable, and tubes actually down through his nose and in his throat, and it was just unbelievable. You know, I just practically went hysterical at that point, and that's when, you know, the extent of his injury definitely sunk in.
Marc is the product of a close-knit family where football was important in their lives. Both on the field and off, father and son play to win.
The Buonicontis found the driven attitude and the neuroscientific knowledge they were pursuing right here in their own hometown. It's called the Miami Project, and its goal is to find a cure for paralysis.
Marc's injury mobilized the Miami Project to recruit world-class scientists and innovative technology. It's a costly undertaking, but one to which Miamians and others have responded.
I don't want to be said that the reason that someone is in a wheelchair, namely my son Marc, is because there wasn't enough money to fund the research that is needed to find a cure for paralysis.
I am 100% confident that we're going to be able to cure paralysis. I can't tell you when or where, but I can tell you the Miami Project will be an important part of it. There are scientists who have made major breakthroughs in this country and elsewhere to show that this is indeed a feasible goal.
We can, in animal experiments, show that we can actually repair severe damages to both brain and spinal cord.
Among the therapies Marc is undergoing, this electronic stimulation, which is retraining his muscles. But modern technology offers more than minor miracles. It holds the major promise of hope.
It's a great feeling, you know?
I believe that Marc is coping with his environment, and I've never accepted it. We're never going to accept it.
When you accept your injury, you lose hope. When you lose hope, your dreams die. And everything else dies with it and along with it.
Hope, faith, and hard work have allowed Marc Buoniconti to dream of one day walking away from this ordeal.
It's been 11 months since my injury, and finally next week I'll be going home, which means more than anything to me, going home.
And just moments ago, the huge crowd at the Orange Bowl paid tribute to the special grace and courage of Marc Buoniconti. And best of all, he'll be going home in just a few days. What could be a greater gift for Marc and his family as they get set to celebrate his 20th birthday on Monday? And all of us here at CBS wish him the very best. The second half is next. This is the Prudential College Football Report on CBS.
The Prudential College Football Report has been sponsored by the Prudential, offering a full range of insurance and other financial services. The Prudential, the Rock. It's strong, it's on the move, it's bigger than life.